here alone.
I suspected I had depression as early as 1999, but I didn't do much about then. I just relied on self-help books, reading. And then in 2009, I went through divorce. And then there came a point where I was really feeling suicidal at one night. That's the time I decided to go for help.
It started all because of there's a change of nature of my job, my work. So, and I'm putting too much pressure on myself, expecting myself to do well.
Okay, one was because I was actually fully breastfeeding, and getting the routine of the baby was not easy, and so I think my sleep patterns were also disrupted. Also, being there's not much support, I was doing everything from chores to baby care to looking after myself, caring for myself, and I think the strain, the strain of just all the work coming together.
My depression came about when I had a chronic illness the doctor called it stroke. So this was in December 2010.
Being a fresh graduate, like the pressures of like keeping your job and stuff like that, it adds up alongside with paying off the loans that one incurs during the course of studying. So it becomes like, the money stress factor is constantly there.
I think part of it is migration, change of environment. I was without work for a long time. To me, it's a long time because it's all relative. I mean, I've worked for the longest part of my life for 16 continuous years since I finished my army. I think I've never stopped working. And just stopping work itself, I think, is quite detrimental to my mental health.
I do notice the symptoms, right, were like social withdrawal, symptoms of not sleeping properly, symptoms of not eating properly. The motivations were very low.
Feeling very moody, it's more on the verge of like constantly easily irritated, and it got to a point that where I couldn't sleep or have a proper meal. It's like on off on the run, that kind of stuff, and it goes to a point that where I dread doing work in my daily life. So I thought it was just a passing phase, but things got progressively worse, and it became more like suicidal thoughts actually crept in as well.
Very negative view in life and not much goals. Very insecure. And can't concentrate. Because during those years, a lot of things happened. So I went for studies, and then I couldn't concentrate on the studies. I couldn't remember things.
I was easily angered. My capability to hold my temperament were very short. I could get angered easily. I also realized that my memory has functioned quite differently. I realized I cannot hold question that's pound on to me, especially what I call compounded question. They build up the anger in me, and then I will react and release my anger by my verbal response, and sometimes quite physical. So I will throw table and chairs to vent off my frustration.
I can't really sleep. And another experience that I come across is that I just don't have appetite, even to eat anything. Yeah, even to the extent of trying to push down the food. Also, I just can't do it. So, with these various experiences, I felt that it seems that something is really not correct with me. Yeah, that's why I go and look for a doctor.
It came to a point I actually got myself to my family doctor, because prior to that I was complaining to him that I'm having muscle aches, I'm having tension headaches, and these are all physical symptoms which he did acknowledge is probably signs of me being very stressed.
One night, I woke up in the middle of the night and told my wife I want to divorce her. I say, hey, I can't hold out anymore, I can't provide for you, why don't we divorce each other? I always say this, thank God for a wife that doesn't listen. You know, really. So my wife did not listen to me. Instead, she told me to, hey, why don't you you attend a course, a class by the company that she was kind of volunteering, and she has found and know of the class, and so she recommended me to this class in recovery innovation in New Zealand. They were doing a class called RAP, Wellness Recovery Action Plan.
Initially, I was just managed by a GP, and then eventually, after 6 months, I was referred to IMH to see the psychiatrist, and I have been under his care so far until now.
I go straight to the psychiatry. Like I said, with the symptom, I felt that it's not a normal illness. It's likely something to do with depression.
I went back to my family doctor, and he actually referred me to SAMH. So I got in touch, and that was how I learned about the illness management recovery program. That was something I could try out before actually deciding whether I would need proper counselling.
And by the time I reached the counselling chair, I don't know where to start, you know. How do we tell the story, you know? And there was only one thing that they did right, okay? They pushed me a few forms, and they said, can you still write? Because I was almost mute. I mean, I could speak, but I couldn't tell what happened because it's so painful, you know. And they said, can you just write your story out? So they broke it down into life cycles. I said, okay, I think I can still write. So I wrote quite profusely, and it was quite in detail. So within a week, they could diagnose the whole situation, and they still didn't tell me what is wrong. They just tell me there's only one sentence that you put down there that kind of tell us that we can still help you. I say, yeah, what is that sentence, you know? That sentence was, I think there's still hope.